Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocky's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon.
I tried to think. Trigger warning. This poem was meant to be funny. I tried to think funny, be funny, channel my inner comedian, write funny across a blank page, funny. Like that time I broke my arm running from a squirrel, true story. Funny, I thought it was chasing me. Funny, it really wasn't. Funny, I still believe the squirrel apocalypse is a thing. Funny, like that time a boy called me fat. When I told him I thought he was cute, I kept the joke going, kept his homeboys laughing, kept my waistline expanding inside the punchline, hoping they wouldn't notice it wasn't funny. Like that time I lost my wallet. I found myself at the grocery store, cart full of baby formula. Funny, the nice lady paid. Funny, I really didn't lose my wallet. Funny, I didn't have enough money to fill my car and my child's belly. Funny how life is. Keep writing, you will get to funny. Keep laughing. Laughter is the only thing that will make this poem funny. Like that time I wrote my first haiku along the wall of my college dorm. Funny, it was actually a suicide note. Funny, no one noticed. They say the ones that laugh the most laugh the least. Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, my cousin, me. They say laughter is the best medicine. If I keep laughing, maybe I'll be cured. If I keep writing, maybe I'll be cured. After all, what do you say to God halfway through a poem or a prayer or a punchline or a suicide note? Funny?
Yeah, that definitely gave me chills when I listened to that, and I'm definitely feeling some type of way. So, welcome to Rocket's Reality. Um, I gotta take a breath because it's a heavy show for me. That was Native Child Mays, also known as Kelly Mays, and unfortunately, she is now with the ancestors, watching over us. And I just want to this is October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as you all know, and we are not now wrapping it up by honoring her. So I just want to say salute to her and honor her, even though I never met her. But as a woman, I feel as we are kindred spirits. So today's show is extra special, and I'm grateful for the guests. And I'm gonna try not to get emotional, y'all. You know I be getting emotional. I'm emotional like Carl Thomas, okay? Um, because I'm an empath, and I just, as a woman, I we all experience um different emotions, and I really felt that poem as a fellow curvy woman myself. And she's right, like shit. Sometimes you think it's funny, but it's really not. That's the irony of it. You gotta laugh to keep from crying a lot of times. So I want to welcome to the show my guest. The first guest is Kelly Mays' oldest daughter, Celeste. Thank you for joining me, Celeste. I really truly appreciate you. You don't know me from Eve. So I appreciate you coming to share time in your story. And I want to welcome an old friend, Andante Valentine, aka Ann Hickey, aka the Stitch God. We gotta wait a minute. Pick up. Can we see the jacket right quick? With the crochet jacket, y'all. This is why she's the stick with the hood. Which I'm gonna need one of those. I'm gonna have to put
Yes,
in the order.
ma'am.
Mine, I want some purple. Yep. I'm
Yes,
gonna have
ma'am.
to,
I
yeah,
got you.
because I'll be cold. How
Yes,
much them
ma'am.
run?
They started at 175.
Okay, yep. I might need to put a payment plan. Let me pay you half to get
I take
started.
after paying up.
Okay, good, good, good. Oh shit.
I'm a
I love
professional
it.
business.
Okay. So we're gonna pump that up. But back to the seriousness. Adante is, or I hate to say was.
Still is.
Hey, right.
Still
Because
is. I talk to her every day. Still is.
exactly.
Yeah.
A longtime friend. How long were
Mhm.
you all friends of Kelly?
Oh.
I go way back, way back.
Because it was almost 20 years. It was almost 20 years. Yep.
Almost 20 years. Long time. So
Before I got married.
when Celeste here was a little baby,
She was a little man.
she was a little person then.
Mhm.
So welcome to the show and ladies. And thank you for sharing your time
Mhm.
and energy in this space. I truly appreciate it because I know this is not easy to speak about. And so for those who are not aware, Kelly Mays, and I cannot say the M word because Facebook and all of that,
Mhm.
even though that's what happened, her life was brutally taken. Was it January 7th
Mhm.
of this year?
Mhm.
I swear 2024 came in like, blow, you know,
It's been
shit.
crazy
First Cat
year.
Williams. I mean, it was just all type of shit happening at the
Yeah.
beginning of 2024. But I did not know Kelly, but she was allegedly her life was allegedly taken by her husband, Jimmy Brown, also known to people here in the Detroit area and really internationally as
Mhm.
well as Super MC. And so, as you all know, or some people who have kept up with Rocky's reality, Super MC and I go back a ways as well. I came to see him as a brother. He was on the show several times. And for me, when I heard that, it was devastating.
Mm.
It was devastating. I was devastated. I was disappointed. I was pissed off. I was like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
So I can just imagine how the both of you felt.
Yeah.
But when I want to ask though, when you watch that poem, when you watch your mom, Celeste, what is that like for you now?
Um, Now I'm just like the emotions that I used to go through, I'm navigating through the grief, but I'm not very good with grief. I Some people think that my grief is like I don't cry as much. I'm a little bit stoic, but that's how I always am.
Mhm.
But just watching her, I just think of how she always told me her poems when she was just in front of me rehearsing. So that's why I just think of it. And then actually also fun fact about the funny poem. So I was with her when she broke her ankle running away from a squirrel. And we were in our apartment and I was so our apartment has a front yard and a backyard. So I was in the backyard with other kids and then my cousin came out and was like, "Hey, I gotta take your mom to emergency." I was like, "Why?" She sprained her ankle running from a squirrel.
Uh,
So I told all the neighborhood kids, "Oh my god, my mom's going to emergency. She ran away from a squirrel."
Yes. And she was terrified
Is
of
it?
squirrels.
She was for real.
She
Well, you
ran
know what? These
Yeah.
squirrels, she might listen. She might have been right about this squirrel apocalypse. Shit, because I feel the same way. It's like it's a whole lot of damn squirrels now. I
They
don't know.
everywhere.
Listen, and the black squirrels
And
too.
they not scared of you.
Shit,
Oh yeah, the
exactly.
black ones are
Yeah.
How
crazy.
about when I was younger? I didn't see no damn black squirrels. Shit.
Nothing.
So
You saw
my
regular
mama, you know what? She
squirrels.
might have been right because they will just run up on you and shit
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
know you. So I'm like, look, um, so and for you, I'm gonna just say Ann. So, what is it like watching your friend, knowing she's not here anymore?
So this is the first time I watched it and I cried. Like, so when we did the memorial and we did all those things, like it's still difficult for me to hear her voice. Um, th- just because you expecting to get a text message or a phone call or something like that from her. So it's been a slow process. Like Celeste said, like the grief process has been difficult because like for me, I just keep going. So like I just finally maybe a month ago took time to actually start the grieving process. Like I just kept busy the whole time. So it's been different, like just having to sit with it and really take the time to listen. So it's different. It's just expect her to call.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right. You know, and someone was saying, and this is the thing with grief. Everyone, it shows up differently
Mhm.
because I'm sure, Celeste, you have had your moments
Mhm.
where you have probably screamed and hollered and be like and upset, or maybe not, but
Mhm.
still, you've had your moments. And grief is not linear.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, it's not like it's like that's it. Um, you know,
So much more to it.
yeah, it's so much more to it, and it's so it does again, it's an ongoing thing. You don't ever get over
No.
it.
No.
That's not something you get over,
No.
especially losing your mother. So, and just in such a tragic way, because we know our parents are not going to live together, right? I mean, live
Forever.
Forever.
forever,
Yeah. Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Um, but did you ever imagine? I'm sure, Celeste, um, you never imagined finding your mom
No,
like that.
never.
And of course, it was a lot of whispers about it, about the nature of their relationship and just different things. Because I'm also friends with John Jobert, which
Mhm.
was Super MC's manager.
Mhm.
And he provided some insight on some things about their relationship, but he also said that he never would have thought something like this happened. So again, for me, it's a strange experience as well because me knowing Soup
Right.
and knowing the type of person he was, and I know none of us are perfect, but that really fucked me up
Yeah.
when I heard that. I was just like, because I saw it on the news,
Mm.
and I was like, "Oh, I know her," and I was like, "Oh, is that? That look familiar." And then I'm looking, and then I saw his mugshot, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I know you fucking lying." I was
But
like,
yeah.
I was just like, I couldn't, and I'm like, oh no, this can't be right. This is
Yeah.
cannot be right. So I'm calling and texting people. I'm like, did y'all hear? And they were like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is so. At that time, I had wanted to do a show to honor her. I was like, oh, this is because as a woman, even though, like I said, I know Soup, as a woman, I felt that, and I always try to be an advocate for us
Mhm.
as women, because I feel like as a society, our culture um, makes it okay to abuse and
Yeah.
use women at
Yeah.
times. We're indispensable
Yeah.
at times, and it's very unfortunate that we talk about DV survivors, and with me being a child welfare worker as well, I've
Mhm.
worked with families who've experienced DV. So for it to hit close to home, for me, I was just conflicted. I said, now, do I still think of him as a friend or no? And then I felt conflicted because I was like, no, I don't know now, because this is really fucked up what you did. So
No, you are definitely that's how I
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
mean,
ain't
it's a
gonna lie.
yeah, that was and I saw people on Facebook going back and forth,
Yeah.
it
I
was some
stopped
people
looking
vouching
after
for
a while.
him. It was
Yeah.
some people vouching for her, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this shit is nuts. And I was like, it needs to be a bigger conversation about how we protect ourselves as a community.
Yeah.
Because shit like this should not be happening.
Yeah.
You gonna argue, you gonna fuss.
Yeah.
And my husband and I, we've been married 22 years, and we have definitely had some intense moments.
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, at some point you gotta walk the fuck away.
Yeah.
You gotta walk the fuck away.
Mm.
So, thank you for watching. Is that Robert Mays?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's my uncle, her oldest brother.
Mm.
Okay, so condolences to you,
He's on there
Robert.
too.
Oh, you said what?
Peace.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Is that her? Is that
That's
Clarice?
Peace. That's one of our friends too.
Okay, so thank you all for
Yeah.
watching it and tuning in, and condolences to all of you, because I could not imagine someone calling me and telling me something happened to one of my friends like that. Like, it's just horrendous. So for you, Celeste, what was it like? And by the way, Kelly was a DV survivor and advocate,
Absolutely.
besides being a poet. And I believe not long before she passed, she became a doula
Mhm.
Mhm.
for moms, a post-birth doula
Yep.
for moms, which is important because a lot of times moms are going through
Yeah.
postpartum. And so I just could tell she really had an impact on the
Mhm.
community.
On the world as a whole. People knew her everywhere, just for her activism and for her as a person. Like, she was an amazing person. And then she was very much, as far as a friend, a very non-judgmental friend. So, a lot of
Mm.
times you don't get those type of friends who, no matter what, will pull up with a bottle of wine, like, "Now tell me about what's going on.
Right.
Val, you know you wrong." Like, that was the
Right.
having that kind of safe space. A lot of times we have friends or people that we are close to, but you have very rarely have times where you have a friend that's really a non-judgmental friend. They're
Yeah.
gonna tell you what they think, and whatever you do, we gonna ride together, but that's stupid. Like,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's who she was for me,
Yeah.
was trying to keep me out of jail. That was my out of jail friend. Yes. Yes.
Right, because I know your ex-husband too. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, them moments, yeah, it be like
Baby,
that
I be like,
sometimes.
"Do I
Like,
wanna wear orange?" Like,
man,
yeah, it
girl,
was a yeah.
listen, because the
Yeah.
east side of me, sometimes I'll be like, oh, let me get it together,
I've come
Jesus.
so far, but yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I had to check myself at times, like, oh, let me, oh Lord, let me go take a breath.
I got too much to lose.
This making me mad, Jesus. Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it's just a really hard thing to grasp. So are you ladies in grief counseling? Like how?
Mhm.
What? Yeah. Okay.
So, I had started going to a grief group, and it was too overwhelming. Like, it took me, like, days to recuperate. So, I've just started within the last few days actually processing all of my grief. And
Mm.
in that processing, realized there were some other things that had happened that I had not processed either. So, just taking things piece by piece, moment by moment. So, I'm proud of this one here, because like a week or two after she had already started going to therapy, I was like, "You are now my idol, because I'm working on it.
She
I'm
seems
getting
so
there."
mature. She's so mature though.
Always.
It's so real.
I am not. I'm
Always.
not mature.
You're not mature.
She
No.
I
she
mean,
is she
you're not.
is
You're
very
still in your
mature.
20s. Now. I mean, damn. Like, but you seem pretty mature to me. And so, do you have custody of your sister who's 15?
No, my grandma does.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just her.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, she just commented.
Okay. Hi,
Miss
Grandma.
Miss
Shanice.
Shanice.
Condolences to Grandma. I could not imagine losing a child, honey. As
Mhm.
much as these damn kids get on my nerves.
That part. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, but for you, Celeste, let's go back to when your mom and Soup got together. Like you were
I was
how old?
Were you young?
I was 15.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so a
were.
How old?
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were young, because Lil Mama was little.
Okay, so what was that like?
I didn't like him too much
Mhm.
because she would always like go over to his house all the time
Mhm.
and made me watch my sister.
Mhm.
So I was like, I was always blowing up her phone, like, "Hey, are you coming home? Or are you okay?" Yeah. Then it gradually is like starting like at first, I kind of started trusting him, and then like I was like, okay, still a weird relationship, all right. Then it kind of like I grew accustomed to it, and then like we like kind of like it was he kind of like became my second dad.
Mhm.
So
Because
like,
is your bio dad in your
mhm,
life? Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
So
So you have a
it's cool
relationship
having
with
two dads, but
okay.
Yeah.
so just that doing by that him doing that, it's just like every day I question why.
Yeah.
Because I used to like talk to him every day. So it's just not like we weren't like we were close.
Mhm.
Um and literally I saw him the Thursday before she passed at the house. So
And so had you witnessed any of their any issues between them?
all the time.
Mhm.
Okay, so it was how would you describe their relationship?
Mm.
Very argumentative between both of them.
Tumultuous.
Yeah.
It
Tumultuous.
was hot. If it was
Mhm.
hot, it was hot. When it was cold, it was cold. Like, there was no
In
in
between.
between. It was either one extreme or the other. Yeah.
And so throughout their relationship, it was like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Okay, and then they got married,
Mhm.
And it was still like
And it
that.
was still like
and it was
that.
still like that.
Mhm.
Okay, because I know Soup. He a little high head. He is.
Yeah, high head, not no little.
And
He can be on one. He
and they
can
were
be on
both
one.
Scorpios.
And
So
they
Ooh.
Yeah, so when they
It is
ran
Scorpio
hot, it
season. So
was
her birthday and both their birthdays are coming up then.
Mhm.
Oh wow. And Scorpio, Lord
And hers
Jesus.
is actually 6 days after mine.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So you Scorpio too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
But she's the
Wow.
nicer side.
Yeah, I'm the nicest.
Yes.
She the nicest
She is.
Scorpio.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Because wait, so your birthday is when then?
15th,
Okay. And so hers was the 9th.
21st.
21st.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You said it was what?
The 21st.
Okay, because she heading into Sagittarius then. Got a
She
little
was right
fire.
at the cusp.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
got a little fire sign
Yeah, that's
in
why we
her
was good
then.
friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so what was it like for you? I remember I was watching the clip and I don't know, um, Joe, if that news clip is it acting right now, Joe? Let's check on it. It might not be acting right. If not, it's okay. That's okay. I watched a news clip when she did a lot of work with Haven,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
organization Haven, which is located in Pontiac, I believe, or
It's one there.
Wheeling.
It's a couple. They're
Yeah, it's a
all over the
Okay,
couple.
so they have
place.
a few
Yeah.
locations. And so she was on a newscast back in 2019 on Fox 2. And she was, of course, speaking about being a DV survivor
Mhm.
from your sister's father
Mhm.
Mhm.
who put her into the hospital.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
she separated from him
Mhm.
because she said that you, Celeste, saved her life, that you told her. Do you remember that moment or
Yeah,
those moments?
it was actually the night of my sister's first birthday. So, I was worried because she didn't come home. Because she told my grandma because we were all living that same together. She told my grandma that she was gonna head to my sister's father's house and never came home that morning. So my grandma told me that my mom was in the hospital, and I like literally went into my room and cried. And then she came home and her face was just battered, like I couldn't even recognize her. And like um we were going to go have memorial dinner at my aunt's house, which is her twin. I couldn't even look at her in the face while eating. And I just like kept looking at her. I'm like, dude, you gotta get out.
How old were you?
I was 13.
You was 13
Mhm.
and you had sense to, well, I mean, 13, you're a teenager. So you
Yeah.
had you witnessed violence between them?
Mm-mm.
So you weren't aware that
Mm-mm.
this was happening. This was your first time when you saw that
Mhm.
and you were like, you got to get out.
Yeah.
And so what was her response?
Honestly, I can't remember. I just remember her looking in. I don't know how she even drove because she did drive. She just looked me in the mirror, like the car mirror, and I was sitting in the back, and we just had that eye contact, and then that's when she filed. I think she filed charges.
Okay. So, and thank God she got away, but it's unfortunate that, um, and I don't know what it is. It's like sometimes we get away from
Mhm.
someone and then we gravitate towards that same situation for some reason.
Sometimes unconsciously. Yeah.
Right, right, because we're not realizing, and I looks like her twin. Is that her twin?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hate it or love it, May. So welcome, condolences to you on the days you find it hard to keep moving. Remember to keep moving. Woo, bless you. Yes, yes, indeed. Cause baby, um, so was this in like growing up? Was any of the family members abusive? Like how do you think she fell into that
Mm,
type of relationship?
So I won't talk about as far as from family, but just from our conversations, because most people don't know that I've survived domestic violence and all kind of stuff too. But from our conversations, we both realize that those people that we sometimes are drawn to, they love bomb us. They make us have a sense of
Mhm.
security. And then also sometimes it is a little bit of our fault too, because we are nurturers and healers and helpers. And so we look to um, help this wounded person. And then in that same space, end up being engulfed in the situation and the what ifs and what could be, and they're going to be better. And you end up being stuck in a space that you don't really know how to get out of, and sometimes it becomes too
Yeah. Yep, and especially as women, we love and we want to be nurturers, and we're used to enduring pain. I
Absolutely.
think at times we're used to it because we have a period every month. Got to go through that shit.
We kinda just
So
suck it up and keep it moving.
right, and yeah,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's okay to sit still
Yeah.
too, though. I'm finding as I get older, and I want to give that piece of advice to you, Celeste. It's okay to sit still sometimes.
Mhm.
It's okay to say no. I don't want to do something.
Mhm.
I'm not okay. It's okay to
Yep.
be not okay sometimes, and I
Mhm.
think we get so used to putting up the brave face, and that shit
Always.
is weary. It's tiring.
Exhausting.
It's
It's
exhausting.
exhausting.
Like,
Yep.
and so
But you know it's hard though, Rocky,
yeah,
because
yeah,
when people see you, so like in the world that we live in the Detroit scene and all that kind of stuff, people look at you as a strong person. They never think that you need a break or that you can be broken. You know what I mean?
mm,
And so it is difficult to take a step back and not engage and not fix and not do and not all these things and try to find a space for you to grieve for yourself. Because like the Native being gone, it's been almost a year now.
yeah,
You know, I still have stuff come up in my timeline, all those kind of things. And I've had to, unfortunately, I've stopped going out as much as I used to because there's always a question or, hey, how are you? Or how, like it became too much. And especially when it wasn't sincere concern. You know what I mean? So
they just
that's
trying to be
Yeah.
nosy.
trying to be nosy or when is the court date? Why? You're not gonna come. Like you're not gonna be supportive. You're not gonna be there to really help the family do what needs to be done. Like what
Yeah,
difference does it
somebody
make?
asked me that. They were like, "Do you know what's the status of his case?" I was like, "Shit, I don't know. I mean, does it matter? Like, I don't even know. Like,
Yeah.
at this point, like, it don't matter. Like, I mean, I know it probably matters to you all, but I'm like, that's not really.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit ain't gonna bring her back.
It's
So,
not.
and I know that's got to be heavy. And I know the community, the poetry community, spoken word community, and others were so devastated, devastated by it as they should be.
Mhm.
And the irony that you were an advocate for this,
Mhm.
and this ends up being her demise.
Right.
Mhm.
That's what trips me out. And so sometimes I have to think like maybe God is using those people for a reason. We don't know why.
Absolutely.
Um,
'Cause her impact was great. Like it is still great. Like it's still impacting other people. And I think, you know, she was still like it was so much going on. Like this year was the year. This year was the 50th. It
yeah.
was all this stuff planning to do, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes the universe does take people before you feel it's time for them to
Right.
go.
Absolutely.
But of course, you know, we don't always know what's the best. It may not be what we want it to be or how we want it to be. But I think the impact that Kelly had on the world has been absolutely phenomenal and amazing.
So what are your thoughts on that, Celeste? Like, what are your thoughts on the impact your mom made?
I can never measure up to it. I'll never
You
be
and
able
me
to get
both.
up there. But I do always applaud her doing what she did with a
Mhm.
single mom with 2 kids, and
She did the damn thing.
You
Yeah.
did, because obviously she was a good mom,
Mhm.
as far as you
Mhm.
can say. How was your sister doing? Like, she's 15, she's still a baby. My gosh, and it's like she's gonna have prom, she's gonna have all these things that your mom is gonna miss,
Yeah.
or that she's gonna miss your mom, I'm sure. So how is she doing?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest, because like, I mean, I do she does miss her sometimes. Every time I do bring her up, it's like kind of change it to a different subject.
Mm.
Is
Um
she in grief counseling, grief therapy
Yes,
as
she is
well?
actually
Okay.
in high school therapy and in a regular therapist.
Okay.
But she's like taking up dance and tennis to like keep her mind off of it.
Mhm.
So
All right. So let's go back to those days around that time. You said you saw Soup that Thursday before. What was his mental state like?
he was high.
Were they separated at the time? Were they together, or what was happening then?
See, like
Okay.
not gonna lie.
They were together but separated. I
Yeah.
think it's not an easy way to describe it.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no easy way to describe the dynamic of how that went day to day,
So
week
she was
to week.
living in her own apartment
Yeah,
though. They
we all
weren't living
Yes.
together.
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a weird
complicated.
situation.
It's hard to
Complicated.
even explain it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So when you saw him, he was high. And what was the conversation? I mean,
I didn't even say anything to him. Like I would just say hey, and I went upstairs to my room because
he was over at your apartment.
Mhm.
Okay.
and he was just slouched on the couch.
Okay. And so were you upset with him at that time or
Mm. I just got because I think I got off work that day.
he was like, I'm tired. I just
Yeah.
want to go.
I just want to
to
go in my
bed.
bed.
And I'm tired from adulting. Did you ever say to mom when you witnessed how tumultuous their relationship was? Did you ever say to her, "You need to leave him too"? Like you left
I
the sister's
told
dad?
them both that they
But
Mhm.
needed to leave each other. It wasn't just one sided.
Mhm.
okay.
And like as much as I brought it up so many times, it just like my basically my voice wasn't being heard.
Because we know folks are hard headed. Supposed to be hard headed. So
Yeah.
w- you and I hate that you found her. That is,
Yeah.
oh my God. What? So what was the scenario? Was your sister there?
No,
Okay.
I was the first one going home because actually was in radiology school.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
And
congrats. Yay.
I was actually about to start my clinicals, so I had to
Mhm.
get home early. So because I was about to be at a urgent care at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
And then so I went home. Well, first I cleaned out my car first because my car was dirty. Yeah, my car's. I had bought all the stuff that was in my car at home. I mean, in the house. Unlocked the door. Usually, I would like hear her say something, or she would be on the couch, either sleeping
Or
or,
watching Court
or watch
Cam.
Court Cam,
Court, you
or
said court cam.
Court Cam, that was
mhm,
her show.
Okay.
or she'd
Mhm.
be watching, when she's sleeping, she watched these weird history channels on
Mhm.
YouTube. So, when I didn't think of anything of it because like she would say hi or something. I thought she'd be sleeping, but she's very also when she sleeps, she's also a light sleeper. She's like a light sleeper and a deep sleeper sometimes. So I went upstairs to put my clothes away. 'Cause I also had clothes on my bed. Then I went downstairs and then I went to the we had a front closet where all the hangers were because we had like a bajillion hangers.
Always.
And I don't know. I just like after not hearing her say anything, I just turned and her like bedroom is like right there. You could see it from the front door of the apartment, and she was just on the ground, covered in blankets.
And so, okay, so her bedroom was on the first floor.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's like the apartment is like a loft
Okay.
with 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
So my bedroom was on the loft was a loft bed. So
Mhm.
Okay. And so you saw her wrapped in blankets and went in the room and
and like I saw that she had a towel in her hand that was with blood, and then I went up to her body and I touched her foot. And then when I realized it cold, I panicked. I had to go upstairs and I couldn't even find my phone.
because you were like, I'm sure your heart was just
Yeah,
thundering. Like, w- I'm sure you
Yeah.
probably don't even know what you were thinking at
No,
that
I
moment.
was like, yeah. Yeah.
So you eventually found your phone
hmm
and
And I called 911.
and and then so
And then after that, I called my grandma. And then I called him
Mm.
and he never answered. And
did you suspect at the time that he had
I
something to do with
didn't.
it? You didn't.
I was too much in shock.
Okay. So you were just calling to inform him. You didn't even realize.
Yeah. I was calling like, hey, where are you? Like, yeah.
Okay. And so for those who um thank you for everyone checking in. For those who are not aware of the details. She was stabbed multiple times in the neck and chest area. That where her wounds were.
That's arm. That's a wound. It was a lot.
Okay. And so, what were your thoughts when he turned himself in? Because he turned himself in. So, um, he turned himself in. So, what were your thoughts then?
Mm. So for me, of course, it was not as much as what Celeste went through. Actually, Peace called me and asked me had I talked. And Kelly and I talked all the time, text message, hey, we gotta go have dinner. We first of all, for us to be trying to be skinny girls, we was always fat girls eating everywhere all the time. And she couldn't drink, so I
But
was
she had
like,
lost
whatever.
some weight. She was looking good.
Yeah, she was looking amazing, but we still was
Yeah.
eating like well, we would eat. So first of all, we would like to eat like fat girls, but then she would have to put the rest of her food in the box and take it home. But we would talk all the time about going out, going to do different things, but also being encouraging. So when Peace called me and asked me had I talked to her, I'm like, well, no, I haven't talked to her. Give me a second because I'll just, reach out. So I texted her, and normally either she'll say, hey, let me call you back, or either, hey, let me call you back, or she would text me or, hey, I'll whatever, right? So I didn't get a response. So then I messaged this one on Messenger. No, I messaged Mama Mays first on Messenger, and I didn't get a response. And then I messaged Celeste, and she's like, my uncle's gonna call you. I instantly knew what happened. Like it wasn't before he even got a chance to call me. I knew what happened. And then when he was talking to me, I'm like, well, where's Soup? And he was like, well, I said that's who did it. Like in my mind, I
So you
knew,
knew some. So yeah.
I think it was because um I had seen I think the worst of it at times, that I think it was that it was a automatic for me. It wasn't that I wanted it to be a automatic, but that was my first mind because she wasn't one to let people in her house. Like she didn't like people being around her, she was very, I'm at home, this is my safe space kind of person,
Right.
So for something like that to occur, I knew it couldn't be a stranger. And then from there, just processing, um it was difficult to process, like, and
Yeah.
then when
And
I
I
heard
think we're all still processing it.
yeah, and then when I heard Celeste had found her, I just felt like, "Oh my god," like, I just couldn't,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't know
was
what to
yeah,
say or
that was a
do
kicker.
to console her either, because that's a big, big piece, but then it's hard, not gonna lie, it's difficult, like you asked about earlier with, Soup, because that's my brother too, like, when I attempted suicide, he was the first person at the hospital with
Is
my
that hard to still
ex-husband.
call him your brother though? That's hard for me to still
It's
call him my brother.
it's very
I'm
difficult.
conflicted about that.
You know what? I don't think it's so much conflicted for me as hurt and disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, all of that.
With all these outlets that you had of conversation, that was the
Exactly.
one thing. Um,
Right.
it's a difficult space to be in mentally. Because again, I've known you outside the circle of music and
Right.
things like that. So
Right.
instead of you just walking away,
Right. I was pissed off. I'm
you
still
know,
pissed off. Like
yeah,
I was like, that's really fucked up.
yeah, it
So
absolutely
I
is.
appreciate you all sharing those details and and in no way is it trying to be exploitive, but just giving some background
Yeah.
on it. So I do appreciate you sharing that. And maybe we'll replay the clip again of that poem. But how do you, and that's something that I think we were talking about. And like, what is that like for you, Celeste? You looked at him as a dad. Like, I know is this something you talk about in therapy? Like, because I know that's a conflict for a lot of us. Like you said, I looked at you as a brother.
Mhm.
And that's why I was telling my husband when it happened, I was like, I don't even know if I can call him my friend anymore. I don't even know if I can look at him like that. Cause it's like, so
Mm,
now you a monster to me.
yeah.
That's all I could describe it. So is there any plans to like open up a college fund or like a scholarship fund or something like that? I know you all had services and the poets had a special ceremony
Mhm.
as well. And I'm trying to fine. Can we grab that box of Kleenex, please? 'Cause it's okay. Yeah,
I'm
right.
the
'Cause
crybaby of the
no, no,
group.
no. I mean, that's fine. I mean, this is
Yeah, I'm the
fucked up.
crybaby.
It's fucked up.
She be holding strong. I'll be over here about to fall apart at the
It's
seams.
but it's
She don't even
okay.
need no tissue. How you gonna be the grown up in this situation, ma'am?
Listen, that's why I said she's quite mature, but I think probably still you in shock too.
Yeah, it's still
I
fresh.
mean, the fuck, but who wouldn't be crying
Yeah.
in a situation like I was crying and I hadn't even met her before? Like I was very devastated. Like this is fucked up. I was
Yeah.
talking to people about that for weeks. Like I don't even know how we deal with this. So, and that's why I wanted to have a show to bring attention to this issue. And the previous show we had as well, a couple weeks back, where the lady, her husband, brutally took the life of her 4 children. I don't know if you all remember that
Yep.
story. This was this is like 2016, I want to
remember
say.
that.
This was in Dearborn Heights,
I remember that.
and she was married to the guy, and he ended up taking the life of the 2 children they shared together, and then her 2 older children.
Wow.
So
I
yeah.
remember that.
So I hate that it's so many of these stories.
Right.
That's what I hate.
And then think about, Rocky. These are the stories we know. So think about how many people are going through domestic violence, male and female. And unfortunately, especially in our community, when it comes to the males, they don't report. There are
That's
several that
true.
I know personally. They'll call me to talk, but they don't want to go to the police. They don't want to.
Because who's gonna believe you? And then they're gonna look at
Yeah.
you like you a punk.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
unfortunate because they really struggle with suicide thoughts and things like that because they don't have a safe space. Or like our strong women like us, like we don't really talk about when we go through things because the perception is what we're worried about, or the judgment is what you're worried about, instead of being able to have that safe space.
Right. So I do really think there should be like a scholarship or something. And if there's any way I can help facilitate that, please let me know, because I think there should be some type of organization, or when you all are ready,
Mhm.
of course, that continues her legacy and her work. I really think that's important, like some type of maybe spoken word or poetry program. Um, I wish it was something in place that we
Yeah.
could, but I do want to advise those, because of course we always want to give resources. So there are organizations such as Sasha,
Yeah.
SASHA. I'm
We have
trying to look.
Haven as
Yes,
well.
Yeah,
Haven.
Haven.
First Step.
First Step is another one. These are all Googleable, you all, that are based here.
In all
And
those places too, when you contact them, it's anonymous. So they're not going to send your information anywhere. Those are safe spaces to find you a safe space for you, children, things like that. So don't be afraid to contact.
okay, okay, because we definitely, and again, just to bring awareness to this, and again,
And I think they have a hotline too.
a hotline. Okay,
Yeah.
Haven does.
No, I think just a
I think the
national
domestic violence
hotline.
hotline.
Okay, and so, yep, definitely.
Mhm.
So, and later on, I'll put those into the chat for people who are watching, and um a twin, I had to get the story out. So I'm not trying to exploit your sister's story, but I had to get that out. So this is all in honor of her. The show did start with her poem, and I did have another clip we wanted to play, but technology is not. But there are several clips out there. There are several,
YouTube is
um,
full of them.
yeah, of her and
Mhm.
her poetry. Actually, let's watch that one again for those who are tapping in late, because we opened the show with that poem. But let's show it again for those who were not watching at the beginning. And this is one of the last poems that she performed, right? Is this, or
She
I don't
had
know
a
what
whole
time.
bunch of she had this is an older one.
Oh, this is an
Mhm.
older one. That's why I
Mhm.
was wondering, because the post was from December of 2023, but I didn't know.
They started reposting stuff too from
Mhm.
Black
Okay, and
Poetry because she was doing
that's
some
what I was
work.
asking. I didn't
Yeah.
know if that had been a previous.
Her actual last one, she never will be
Finished.
finished. It was called
That's the
Daddy
one she
Daddy
recited to you.
Issues.
That was
Yeah,
Daddy's
Daddy-
issue. Daddy
Daddy's
issue.
Issue.
She started
Ooh.
reciting that one to
Oh
you.
my gosh, that would have been a good one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have the
Yeah, she
the
started it.
script in my
Oh,
phone.
oh, thank you. Miss May says I'm currently going through her poems. There's plans for dedication compilation. Yes, something like that, please.
She has
Miss May,
thousands and
and
thousands and
yes,
thousands of them.
and I would definitely love to air that at a later date. So please keep me posted on that because I would love to air that. But Daddy Issue. So were you like her sounding board, Celeste, when she had poems? She would be like, "How does it sound?"
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
all the time.
Okay. Did you give her ideas of stuff that she should be talking about, or she would just
Like the last one, yes, but the other ones I was like, so thing.
so be like, you was like, I don't want to hear these.
No, I mean I have fun listening to them, but they were like all depressing. And they were like, that's
Mm.
how it's supposed to be. I was like, they're good.
But you like, I don't want. Okay. Well, I mean, but as an artist though, you gotta get out what you feeling at the time. Though,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta.
Yeah.
You know, so was she a poet when you were a kid as well, all throughout your childhood?
When we used to live, because she was studying psychology at the time, getting her bachelor's.
Oh, love it.
So
Okay.
Almost done.
when I moved up with her to Central, she go to a talent show. I was sitting in the back, listening to her do her poetry thing for the talent show. So yeah, she had me go to every poetry show she went to.
Whether you wanted to or not. And look, I mean, you the kid, you gotta come along. We gotta
Yeah.
bring y'all along. Sometimes. And
Mhm.
that's what I don't know. I know you feel angry, but I feel angry for you that was she was doing so many things because when I was looking on her Facebook page and I was like, it's like she was announcing accomplishment after accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Lord,
Yeah.
we don't, you know what? We don't
Yeah.
want to question you, Lord, but I just don't get it. I
Oh, I
really
cuss him out quite frequently.
and you
I
know what?
do.
We love you, God, but we a little angry now.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like I don't
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So let's look at that clip again of Kelly Mays reciting funny.
Trigger warning. This poem was meant to be funny. I tried to think funny, be funny, channel my inner comedian, write funny across a blank page, funny. Like that time I broke my arm running from a squirrel, true story. Funny, I thought it was chasing me. Funny, it really wasn't funny. I still believe the squirrel apocalypse is a thing. Funny, like that time a boy called me fat. When I told him I thought he was cute, I kept the joke going, kept his homeboys laughing, kept my waistline expanding inside the punchline, hoping they wouldn't notice it wasn't funny. Like that time I lost my wallet. I found myself at the grocery store, cart full of baby formula. Funny, the nice lady paid. Funny, I really didn't lose my wallet. Funny, I didn't have enough money to fill my car and my child's belly. Funny how life is. Keep writing, you will get to funny. Keep laughing. Laughter is the only thing that will make this poem funny. Like that time I wrote my first haiku along the wall of my college dorm. Funny, it was actually a suicide note. Funny, no one noticed. They say the ones that laugh the most laugh the least. Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, my cousin, me. They say laughter is the best medicine. If I keep laughing, maybe I'll be cured. If I keep writing, maybe I'll be cured. After all, what do you say to God halfway through a poem or a prayer or a punchline or a suicide note? Funny?
You took me out with that squirrel apocalypse, though. But like she said, what do you say to God? Like sometimes you're just like, God, where do I go from here?
Mhm.
You know, how do I move forward from here?
They
And
say God give his soldiers the biggest battles.
Absolutely.
you must be a general. Yeah, Celeste. Shit. You must be the general of the army because
Yeah.
woo woo woo. So they say that when you lose a parent, your life is totally different. Like it's changed. So how is your perspective different on life now? Do you think back to some of those things she was telling you as a mama and was like, my mama was right? We because we as kids, we hate when our mama telling us what to do as we get older. But
Yeah.
then as you get older, you look back like, you know what, mama was right about some things. I wish she was here to nag me now about some stuff. Do you
I do
experience
miss
that?
that. Yeah. I do miss the nagging a little bit.
Just a little bit, and because you realize that it was a blessing to have a mom,
Mhm.
Mhm.
a devoted mom
Who
like
truly
that.
cared.
Yeah,
Heck,
yeah.
I even missed the little text of, "Hey, can you stop and give me some chocolate at the gas station?"
Get
The
you some
chocolate she
what
wasn't supposed to be
chocolate?
eating.
What type of chocolate did she like?
She loved the Hershey's with almonds,
Mhm.
king
Mm.
size.
Did she like to put it in the refrigerator?
Mm,
Okay.
yeah, she
In the
did.
freezer.
Yes,
Mhm.
fresh out the freezer. So that'd be nice. And so, do you find yourself wanting to text or call her?
So I texted her, what was that? Last week before last? And then I had to remember I had already sent it, but it was too late. So um yeah. And then I like had a whole meltdown like 2 months ago because I was trying to find the voicemail and couldn't find it. Like sometimes like when shit go left, I'm like, oh, I can call, and then I remember that I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's different. It's
Right.
definitely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. And grief is unpredictable like
Mhm.
that because you could hear a song, you
Mhm.
could eat something, you could smell something, and
Yeah.
that reminds you of
Yeah.
the person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so again, I thank you all for coming, and I want to encourage overall. And again, this was in no way to exploit her story. I
Mhm.
want to shine a light on it, and hopefully, someone who's out there listening, this will be a wake up call to them. So I'm gonna
Absolutely.
again after the show, I'm gonna put the different resources for domestic violence into the comments. If you are someone who is currently in a relationship of domestic violence. And sometimes people don't even realize it. They're so used to the dysfunction.
Mhm. And it's not just physical. People don't realize it can be emotional, it can be mental, and sometimes that's even worse because you feel like you aren't worth anything. So just be mindful of
Mm,
everything. Anything that makes you feel less than who you think you should be, then you in a bad situation.
hmm Hmm. That's a good tip. What else would you advise someone? Because you got out of it. Thank God.
I did.
How did you
It
get
was
out? What
something
what
different.
what what was the breaking point for you? Like, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm not dealing with this no
Um,
more. And I don't mean a specific incident, but I guess what made you be like, look, this is the last straw. I'm done.
honestly, I had gone to my mom's house. Like I had packed up my kids and gone to my mom's house. This is my first husband. Went to my mom's house and I looked at her and I was like, that's it. I can't do anymore. Forgive me, y'all. But I called his mama. I said, and you need to come either get him now or I'm gonna send him to you in a bag.
Oh, look,
Because at that point I had
listen.
been so tired. I had these
Uh-huh.
3 children that I
Mm-hmm.
was really working hard to take care of. And there were so many other things going on with that person I was with. I looked at my kids and realized I could not do it anymore. Like I couldn't allow my daughters to see me
Mm-hmm.
being treated this way or my son to think
It's
that it was
okay to
okay
treat
to be
women
treated
that
that
way.
way.
Right.
And
Right.
so, now we're fine. Now that we are complete adults, we have conversation and all this wonderful stuff. Um, but it was just seeing
Oh,
my
you and the
child.
first husband, y'all
Yeah.
are y'all are amicable now. Y'all can
Oh
be.
yeah.
Oh, bless
We
you.
can be in the same place, all that.
Girl, bless you for forgiving.
But you know what?
Ooh, because you
I
gotta
think I've
forgive. I know you gotta forgive, but ooh.
but I think I've grown over time. My forgiveness has become something different. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means you've learned the lesson
Mm,
and you allow your soul to have space to do what needs to be done. Because again, not to preach to folks, judgment is not ours. And I refuse to judge anybody else and condemn my soul because I'm judging you. That's not my place.
mm,
So, yes, I was upset. Yes, I was hurt, but I did the necessary steps to do the things I needed to do. I did close myself off a little bit. Um, but just teaching my children that it's unacceptable to be treated in any way that you don't want to be treated in. Um, and it helped because as they became mature adults, they got it. They have great relationship with their dad, with their stepdad, and all those types of things. But those things were not also brought up to them until they were adults for them to make their own decision about who their father was. I never was that baby mama to be like, "Oh my God, he's horrible." No,
Mm.
these things happened to me. He never hurt you, but I was able to step away. And it wasn't easy because then you have to actually also acknowledge that you may have made a wrong decision in person, that some of the things that you've experienced were signs and you was seeing red flags and was like, "Oh no, it's gonna get better. I just see so much greatness in him." And a lot of times we keep seeing this fairy tale Cinderella story in the person that we're with and don't take the time to stop and see all the red flags that show you that's not the person who really loves you.
Mm.
And it's difficult. And then especially if you've come from spaces where you didn't have the love you needed to have to begin with, it can be a very hard
Yeah.
situation. But when you realize that you need to be in a different space, reach out to these spaces, Sasha, Haven. Reach out to those spaces if you don't feel you're safe enough to speak with your family. Make sure you reach out to save yourself and make sure that you save your children, especially if you have children. They shouldn't see you be abused because that becomes also something mental for them that they think that's how love is supposed to look. And love is never supposed to hurt.
Absolutely, it should not. I was trying to look up Sasha, the it's what does it stand for? Sexual assault survivors. I'm trying to uh but I will put it into the chat for everyone so that you all can access that because that's here in the Metro Detroit in
Mhm.
Detroit area. And then also and there is a national
There
DV
is.
line as well. So I'm gonna put all of those resources into the chat for everyone. But again, I want to thank you,
Mhm.
Celeste. Thank you for again, because like I said, you ain't know me from Eve. So, but Ann knows, and those who do know me know that I come from a place where I want to shine light on things so to support my community and help us be better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that I do, and I mean that in any way that I can support on my platform, any future things that you all, as your grandma says, she says she's working on a compilation. So I would love to display that on my platform when you get it together. It's no rush, or any way that I can support. I would like to do that. Thank you, ladies. Wonderful tribute, Celeste. You my hero. The struggle is real. We all got love should never hurt. Great words to live by. Yes. So, um, and I hope you all do feel like I did the best I could to try to honor her. And again, it doesn't stop here. It doesn't stop here. So please reach out to me if there's an event you have that you would like me to support or
She's having a
oh
50th birthday party
oh good. Okay.
in
What's the
Lansing.
shirt? Let's okay.
In
Let's
Lansing.
see the shirt.
This is made by one of her best friends by
I love
Masaki.
it. She was
Mhm.
gorgeous too.
Absolutely.
Just fine black women.
Always been fine. Always.
Fine. Find them, got them Native American high cheekbones. Let's go. I love it. So what the 50th birthday party, what is that? Give details on that.
It's yes, I think it's December 7th in Lansing.
Yep.
Hold on, because I'm going through too. Yep. So
Oh yeah, the Poetry Room presents Healing Through
Yep.
Verses
That's the
in
Okay.
celebration of Native Child's 50th birthday, featuring special guest Ebony Stewart.
Okay, and that's December 7th up in Lansing at
Mhm.
the Poetry Room is the name of the venue
Yes,
in Lansing. Okay, what's the time?
7 p.m.
Okay. And is that on Facebook or how,
Mhm.
okay, can you all send me that link cuz I'm going to post that into the chat as well.
Mhm.
So December 7th. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to make that. Yeah, cuz I would definitely love to meet some more of the people who were connected to her and support them as well. So, but again, I thank you, Celeste, for sharing your story, and thank you, Anne,
Of course.
for connecting us.
Of course.
Because I was trying to figure out how to navigate this show, and I appreciate you suggesting
Mhm.
that Celeste join us because
Absolutely.
I felt like strange doing that, but you were like, "It's okay. She'll." Well, I was like, "Okay," because
Said I'll check with her, make sure.
right,
You know.
I didn't want
Mhm.
it to feel like I'm just, again, trying to be someone being nosy, but I appreciate you again being willing to Celeste, and just know I'm keeping you in my prayers. I can't imagine what it's like for you. But I'm claiming that it's gonna be a blessing from this. I'm claiming it's
Mhm.
gonna be a grand blessing, and I'm gonna pray for your sister as
Absolutely.
well, and just the whole family,
Mhm.
friends as well,
Absolutely.
friends as well. Because I really couldn't imagine that happening to one of my close friends. Like my best friend and I have been best friends for 30. Oh my God, Lord, we getting old. Next
Well
year.
seasoned. We don't get
Yes,
old.
yes. We for 33 years. Oh, thank you, Hated to Love It, for putting that into the chat. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I look forward to, hopefully she'll be there. Looking forward to meeting her on December 7th. Is that a Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
It's my
Okay.
birthday to follow.
Okay. Sagittarius. Okay. You the Sagittarius, my fellow fire sign. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely put that on my calendar and make it
And
a
I sent
point.
it to you too.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Definitely. I got that. So thank you again. And where can people find you, Stitch God? Let's digress to that. I don't know, Celeste is on Facebook. I don't know if you want people following you or not. It ain't really no purpose for that. People don't need to be y'all, y'all go to the event. That's all
That part.
but for Ann, since you got a
Yes.
business, y'all know I'm about supporting Black
Yes,
businesses.
ma'am.
Let's go.
So you can Google Yarn is Art. I'm most times on TikTok under the Stitch God, and that's GAWD. But I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm creating me a Shopify because my children been on me like, why is all this stuff at the house?
Uh-oh.
Um,
Yep.
I'm
Mhm.
working on it. I'm working on making it better.
Mhm.
Because the crazy part is this situation occurred and most people don't know what's going on with me because I've been at the house. But the business wise, like I said, Yarn is Art. I do the blankets for Gift of Love, or Gift of Life, and then I do hats during the wintertime for the VAs.
Mm.
Because sometimes the shelters need hats and gloves and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
people who want to donate money to that, they can do that as well, or bring me material and I'll make it and donate it. But I also take orders and I have Afterpay and
That's
I
dope.
have all kind of stuff so you can buy stuff or I make stuff.
Mhm.
I do commission items as well.
I
Mhm,
love it. I love it.
mhm.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be
Yes,
putting in my
ma'am.
orders soon because winter is coming, and yeah, I need to stay warm.
And you know, if
So
you follow me on Facebook, every time you see me with a picture, I got something different on it I
right,
made. Yeah.
right. And I've shared a couple of the posts. I think I
Yep.
tagged you in some
Yep.
too, because I think somebody wanted some booties or
Yep. Because I
socks
do
or
the socks
something.
too.
And I
The
was like, oh, I know
socks.
she can do this. So,
Yep. I
but
just
I'm gonna
made a
get me one
couple.
of these, the jacket with the
Yes, ma'am.
hood.
And I still got
That's
to put my pockets on mine because you know you got to have pockets.
oh my gosh. Yes. Shit.
Everything
Oh
is better with
Lord. Now look
pockets.
at you. Look, yeah, you know it. You know it. Okay, everyone. Thank you for watching Rocky's Reality. Thank you to the family for tapping in. I truly appreciate you all. Condolences and prayers to you all. And yes, good. Hate it or love it. I guess I'll find out your real name when I meet you in person on December 7th. So thank you again for watching Rocky's Reality. We are not on next week, so happy Halloween to whoever observes
I love
Halloween.
Halloween.
I'm coming as a sexy motherfucker, sexy MF. So
Every day.
look, that's my costume. And then we will be back on air November 7th. Okay, so see you all soon. Take care.